A last-minute endorsement for Keisha Lance Bottoms as Atlanta prepares to elect its new mayor tomorrow. DeKalb County CEO Michael Thurman and DeKalb DA Sherry Boston announced their support for Bottoms this afternoon. Thurman and Boston are two of DeKalb County's top elected officials. They both took office back in 2016.
And as both Keisha Lance Bottoms and Mary Norwood urge voters to get out to the polls tomorrow, critics of both candidates for Atlanta mayor continue to ask questions about their personal finances. Well, Fox 5's Morris Diggs examines some of those lingering questions and went to both Bottoms and Norwood for some answers. Morris joins us live from a polling place in Buckhead with more. Morris?
Well, let's start with Miss Lance Bottoms. She labels some of this criticism just totally unfair, and she believes in some cases racially coded. A couple of examples. She has held 2 government jobs at once, which she says got approved by the ethics officer. And there's been a lot of talk about the fact that she and her corporate executive husband have a $1 million property on Martha's Vineyard. She says she doubts that a qualified white candidate would come under the same scrutiny.
I have a fantastic credit score.
Since when did a credit score become a category in a politician's profile?
What is your credit score?
My credit score is over 700.
Okay, all right.
Well over 700.
Right.
You won't find that type of information as a prerequisite for Atlanta's top job. But in the waning hours in the race between Mary Norwood and Keisha Lance Bottoms, their conduct, specifically personal finances, has been scrutinized. What really happened when Miss Lance Bottoms did not pay her water bill? That's inaccurate, she says.
Because I budgeted $200 a month towards water. In November, my bill fluctuated. It went up to $800. I continued to pay the $200 a month while the city of Atlanta tried to determine why my bill had spiked.
And what about liens being slapped on her for not paying taxes on time?
I don't have any outstanding bills with the IRS. Those liens have been completely satisfied.
Well, what happened? She says they decided to put off that bill due to high medical fees amassed as she tried to get pregnant through a fertility program.
Beyond the urgency of what you're having to do with medical, is there some point in which people can look at this and they can say, well, here's a couple of some means, and did you not make your taxes a priority?
During that time, absolutely not, because during that time my husband and I were not as successful in our careers as we are now.
What about the other contender in the race? One of the financial questions to Norwood has to do with a software company she once owned. Did you use your council budget to fund those surveys?
Yes.
Okay, so then the question that's being raised by some is that if you're using a council budget to use the Mary Norwood software company, do you see where that perhaps is a little too close?
I would say that if I were using a company that was not a legitimate vendor for the city, that's absolutely correct. So we have that flexibility as long as it's within our city code.